Hello everybody, this is the program Capital Ideas Life, and I'm your host, Mike Gibson. The Department of Hospitality of Moscow is the unofficial name of the organization about which we're going to tell you all about today. 2021 is the anniversary for the main department for the organization of the Diplomatic Corps, a part of the Foreign Office of Russia. The organization is celebrating its 100th year anniversary since its foundation. Every foreigner who comes to the capital of Russia on an official visit knows that living and working in Moscow with the help of GlavUpDK means feeling like you're just at home. And today, this we will experience for ourselves.
On today's program, 100 years of the main administration for service to the Diplomatic Corps under the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Unique historical mansions in the service of the Diplomatic Corps. Living and working in Moscow with the help of GlavUpDK. Instructions for use.
An embassy is a diplomatic mission of a country established and located on the territory of another country, which exists to maintain diplomatic relations between these states. Generally, embassies are located in capitals. Moscow is no exception. The embassies of 149 countries are located here. A huge number of diplomats and their family members and other staff of diplomatic missions live and work in the capital of Russia. The efficacy of diplomats' work depends on how comfortable and convenient their living conditions are in Moscow, which certainly affects the formation of their opinion of the country as a whole. It is for this reason that a high-quality reception of representatives of foreign states in the Russian capital is regarded as a special mission, and one might even say an art. The main industrial and commercial department for servicing the Diplomatic Corps under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia has been providing this high level of reception to foreign guests in Moscow for 100 years. On August 24, 1921, a decree of the Council of Labour and Defence on the establishment of the Central Bureau for Servicing Foreigners in Moscow was signed by the People's Commissariat of Foreign Affairs. The abbreviation was Bureau BIN. This date is widely regarded as the beginning of the history of GlavUpDK. The new organization was to provide foreigners, especially diplomats, with rooms, furniture, everyday services and food. The Bureau had at its disposal 38 mansions. On July 14, 1941, the Bureau was reorganized into the Administration for Service to the Diplomatic Corps, GlavUpDK. Today, GlavUpDK is a modern, diversified enterprise with extensive experience in serving diplomatic representatives. The organization is especially proud of its unique historical mansions, which are under the economic supervision of GlavUpDK. For example, the house of Alexei Ermolov on Prichistinka, a site well known to all Muscovites, and the beautiful adornment of Ostozhenka Street, a Gothic mansion by the architect Lev Kekushev, and of course the famous Zinaida Pertsova house. Muscovites call it the fairy tale house. All these beautiful buildings are true landmarks of Moscow and an integral part of its history. In total, the organization has more than 150 mansions in Moscow on its balance sheet, and some of these buildings are of cultural heritage. Behind me is perhaps one of the most beautiful, the mansion of Sava Morozov, and today it houses the reception rooms of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Vyacheslav.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
You too?
What a splendid place. Please, could you tell us about its history?
Yes, in fact, it is a very unique mansion for Moscow. The mansion is quite rare in this city. It is an English neo-Gothic of the late 19th century. It was built by Sava Morozov, one of the richest men in the Russian Empire.
According to legend, merchant Sava Morozov wanted to please his wife Zinaida and give her a house, the likes of which had not yet been seen in Moscow. Of course, Morozov did not build the family estate himself. The mansion became one of the first major independent works by the subsequently famous architect Fyodor Shechtel. He suggested to the Morozov family 3 projects for the main house in the French Renaissance, Rococo, and English Neo-Gothic styles. Sava Morozov was a famous Anglophile, as he had studied for several years in Cambridge and he had studied the basics of textile production in Manchester. Therefore, he chose the English style for the building.
Он здесь располагался, проживал.
Sava Morozov lived here, but unfortunately he didn't live here very long. This was because from 1893 to 1898, the building was under construction, and as we all know the story very well, in 1905 there was a tragedy, and he was found dead with a bullet wound.
After the death of Sava Morozov, his wife sold the estate to the industrialist and philanthropist Mikhail Rebushinsky. After the October Revolution, the entrepreneur emigrated from Russia. The mansion was nationalized and became the property of the government. On December 8, 1918, Vladimir Lenin spoke here during the meeting of the Moscow Provincial Congress of Soviets. In 1929, the mansion was handed over to the People's Commissariat for Foreign Affairs of the USSR. With the transfer of the mansion to the People's Commissariat for Foreign Affairs, a new period of its history began. Now the house is rightfully considered one of the main attractions of Moscow, and its interior is much superior to the exterior. The refined decor of the interiors leaves no one indifferent. In the main hall, on the walls, there are textiles with knight symbols and carved wooden panels. The passage to the main staircase leading to the Lord's chambers is guarded by bronze figures of warriors. On the wall is a stained glass window by the great Russian painter Mikhail Vrubel, a knight mounted on a horse and accompanied by a page and squire. And what's in here?
And here we have the Baroque Hall, which we are observing with you, with Bagaevsky. This is a very famous artist. This is the wonderful original chandelier.
Yes, the chandelier is fantastic.
With a fireplace, a big fireplace. It was just a tribute to the fashion of the period.
What happens here?
This is usually where the ceremonial signing of documents takes place. And this is where, after the negotiations, the gathering, the signing.
Ah, yes, an official ceremony.
Yes, an official ceremony.
During World War II, the mansion hosted meetings of foreign ministers of the Allied countries, the USA, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union.
Let's go to the next room.
I really like it here. It's one of my favorites.
It's very chamber-like. Here we can see Vrubel's work. And including these carvings, here are also his work.
Beautiful.
It was a smoking room with an exit to the garden, to a balcony.
It's a very cozy, secret place.
Yes, it was a cozy place with a small fireplace.
Beautiful. Vrubel's small living room is the name of this room. Like the rest of the house, it is decorated in the Neo-Gothic style. The ceiling is decorated with gilded caissons, special square recesses. The lower part of the wall is lined with wooden panels, and above there are 3 huge paintings by the master painted on canvas, morning, day, and night. So this must be the main meeting room.
This is the main meeting room now. It used to be the ballroom. We see the original flooring here. 8 different types of wood. It's been preserved. It's been here for 120 years.
Very beautiful.
We see the hall decorated in quite an official style, in white light. We have faux marble on the walls, which was coming into fashion at the end of the 19th century. It was a very famous, fashionable material. Behind us is a balcony. There used to be an orchestra seated on it. There was music and dancing. Well, now it's a meeting room for official delegations. And at the top are the simultaneous interpretation booths.
The staff of the main administration for service to the diplomatic corps under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Russia has carefully preserved the historical appearance and interior details of this masterpiece of Russian architecture. Now the mansion, as it was many years ago, is the center of Moscow political and social life. But despite the fact that the house is closed to the public, anyone can now take a walk through it, albeit virtually. The official website, the GlavUpDK, has launched virtual tours of the mansion run by the enterprise. A total of 8 3D tours have been created as part of the project. Today, GlavUpDK services are used by employees of diplomatic missions, offices of international organizations, more than 100 offices of foreign mass media, and more than 2,000 foreign and Russian companies from 190 countries.
It is well known that when you come to an unfamiliar country, you often do not know some of the legal intricacies. We provide accounting services and many things that seem to be known to everyone, but that might have their own nuances. And in this case, you can always turn to us. Our employees will help, clarify, and, if necessary, take a direct part in solving this or that problem.
And they will also help you find comfortable housing or premises for your business. Today, GlavUpDK is the largest and one of the most experienced players in the commercial and residential property rental market in Moscow. Working in the real estate market, GlavUpDK is guided by the principles of the so-called civilized lease. First of all, this means that all real estate under GlavUpDK's management is in federal ownership. Therefore, foreigners will not have to deal with intermediaries and dubious contracts. Moreover, the price per square meter remains unchanged for the entire term of the lease, even if it is a long-term contract. Nowadays, such a format of the relationship between tenant and landlord is very popular among the Russians as well. In addition, all of GlavUpDK's commercial and residential properties are located in the best areas of the city.
We have a fairly large number of properties, more than 1 million square meters. Basically, they are located either in very convenient locations, from which it is easy to get to the city center, or directly in the center. Of course, most of our properties are located in the west and southwest of the city, where most embassies and missions of foreign countries are concentrated. This is so that our partners don't have difficulty moving around, and they can choose a location that's close to their workplace or their organization.
In addition to the historical buildings under its management, GlavUpDK also has facilities that the organization has built itself. The company erected its first mixed-use complex in 1989. Park Place was an absolutely innovative project for that time, not only for Moscow, but for the whole of Russia. In addition to it, GlavUpDK has 4 other projects: Donskoy Posad, Park Place, 5 Ponds, and Dobrynya.
We hear a lot in our history of firsts, unique. For example, after the war, at the end of the 40s, the medical center that we now run was organized for foreigners. It specialized in services for the diplomatic corps. At the end of the 50s, we were given Zavidovo. This is a plot of land on which is located one of the best suburban resort areas. It was also supposed to be the place where members of the diplomatic corps could spend their holidays. We had the first multifunctional complexes in Russia. We were the first to build them, where there is both residential space and office space, so that guests and representatives of foreign companies could live close to their office.
Behind us is the multifunctional complex 5 Ponds. It was built in 2010, and during this time it has become very popular with foreigners who come to Moscow to live and work. So let's go and find out why. The complex 5 Ponds is located in southwest Moscow. It is considered one of the best areas of the Russian capital. There are many parks and well-developed infrastructure. It is easy to get here by the main city highways. Vnukovo Airport is nearby. The complex 5 Ponds is relatively small. There are only 159 apartments. It has its own gated property. The building is serviced by its own management company. The complex is a kindergarten with intensive courses in English. The complex, like other similar buildings of GlavUpDK, is multifunctional. Therefore, you can not only live here comfortably, but also work very effectively. On the first and second floors of the building are located almost 5,000 square meters of office space, and most of them are already occupied by Russian and international companies. Today we've had a very full day. We visited some beautiful historical mansions in the heart of Moscow, and we've seen the conditions that diplomats live and work in Moscow. And all of this is only but a part of what GlavUpDK can offer diplomatic guests. In one of our next programs, we'll continue the story about this amazing organization. This is the program Capital Ideas Life, and I'm Mike Gibson.
A Big Asia Ltd production. This program was produced with the support of the Department for External Economic and International Relations of the Moscow government.